Hello and welcome! Pregnancy is without a doubt one of the most incredible journeys a person can go on. But with any great journey, sometimes you hit a patch of road you weren't expecting. Today, we're going to talk about one of those potential bumps in the road, gestational diabetes. And our goal here is simple, to take any worry or confusion you might have and transform it into confidence and control.
Think about that for a second. Your body is literally building a new human being from scratch. It's a miracle of epic proportions. But what happens when the very process of creating that miracle throws a wrench in the works? When your own body, in its effort to support your baby, creates a challenge for both of you? Well, that's exactly what gestational diabetes can feel like. A confusing, unexpected twist in the story. So let's untangle it together.
All right, let's jump right in. The very first step to getting a handle on anything is learning to listen. Learning to understand the language your body is speaking. Now, during pregnancy, your body is, well, it's talking a lot. And a lot of what it's saying can sound like the normal aches, pains, and weirdnesses of pregnancy. But sometimes it's trying to tell you something more specific.
Now, you're probably looking at this list and thinking, yeah, that's called being pregnant. And you're not wrong. Feeling tired? Check. Always hungry? Double check. Living in the bathroom? Oh, for sure. But with gestational diabetes, we're talking about turning the volume up on these symptoms. It's not just I'm tired, it's a deep, bone-weary fatigue that sleep doesn't seem to fix. It's not just I'm hungry, it's a ravenous hunger that hits you right after you've finished a meal. And the thirst isn't just a normal thirst. It's like you're trekking through a desert no matter how much water you drink. These are the clues. They're your body's way of raising a little red flag and saying, hey, something's off with my sugar levels.
So, what is actually going on in there? Why does this happen? The most important thing to know right off the bat is this is not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong to cause this. It's a really complex, fascinating, and sometimes frustrating biological side effect of the amazing process of growing your baby. Let's break down the science of it, but in a way that actually makes sense.
Okay, so here's the official definition. At its core, it's all about a hormone called insulin. Now, insulin is basically the hero of our metabolism. Its job is to take the sugar, or glucose, from the food we eat and escort it into our cells where it's used for energy. During pregnancy, your body just naturally needs more insulin. It's working overtime. Gestational diabetes happens when your body's insulin production line just can't keep up with this new, super high demand. It's trying its best, but it's falling a little bit short. This is my favorite way to explain it. Think of insulin as a key, and your cells have little keyholes, or doors. Normally, after you eat, insulin comes along, unlocks the cell doors, and lets all that lovely sugar in to be used as fuel. Easy peasy. But during pregnancy, the placenta, your baby's life support system, starts pumping out all these other hormones. And some of these hormones are like little troublemakers who go around and put gum in the keyholes. They make your cells resistant to the insulin key. So even though you have insulin, it can't open the doors as easily. And what happens when the sugar can't get into the cells? It has nowhere to go. So it just hangs out and builds up in your bloodstream. And that is what causes high blood sugar. Okay, so now that we know why it's happening, we have to talk about the risks. And look, I want to be really clear here. We're not talking about this to scare you. Not at all. We're talking about this because knowledge is power. When you understand what you're up against, you are so much better equipped to manage it effectively. This is about awareness, not fear.
So are some people more likely to get this than others?
Absolutely. If diabetes runs in your family, that can be a factor. Your age, your weight before pregnancy, or if you're carrying twins or more, all of these things can increase the risk. And if you've had it in a past pregnancy, there's about a 1 in 4 chance it'll show up again. But here's the really important part. You can have every single one of these risk factors and not get it, or you can have 0 risk factors and still be diagnosed. It can truly affect anyone, which is why screening is so important for every single pregnant woman.
Let's talk about the what if. But I want you to focus on the most important word here, unmanaged. All of these risks are primarily linked to unmanaged gestational diabetes. If your blood sugar isn't controlled, that extra sugar goes to the baby, which can make them grow extra large, a condition called macrosomia. And a bigger baby can sometimes mean a more complicated delivery. For you, it can increase risks of things like high blood pressure. But please, hear me when I say this. These are not foregone conclusions. These are the very things that we are working to prevent. And with good management, we can.
This right here, this is the turning point of our whole conversation. Yes, the risks are real. We have to acknowledge them, but they are not your destiny. They are not a sentence that's been passed on you. This diagnosis is not the end of the story. It is a call to action. It's the moment where you get to step up and show how strong you are. So the real question isn't why me. The real question is, okay, how do I take back the steering wheel?
And the answer to that question is a clear, actionable plan. Taking back control isn't some vague idea. It's a strategy. And that strategy is built on 3 solid pillars. First, testing, so you know exactly what's going on. Second, diet, because that's your #1 tool. And third, treatment, if and when it's needed.
It all starts with this test, the infamous glucose tolerance test. Let's be honest, it's not the most fun day out. You have to fast beforehand, which is no small feat when you're pregnant. Then you get your blood drawn to see your baseline sugar level. Then comes the main event, drinking this super sweet, syrupy drink. It's an experience. After that, you just hang out and let your body do its thing. And they'll test your blood again after 1 hour and then again after 2 hours. The whole point is to see how well your body handles a big dose of sugar. It gives your doctor a crystal clear picture of what's happening.
So if you are diagnosed, these numbers are about to become your new best friends. You start checking your blood sugar at home, usually first thing in the morning, that's your fasting number, and then after your meals. The goal is to keep those numbers within a specific target range. For example, your doctor might want your fasting level to be under 95, then an hour after you eat, maybe under 140. These targets are your guideposts. They tell you and your doctor how well your management plan is working, day by day, meal by meal.
When it comes to treatment, think of it like levels in a video game. You always start at level 1. And for the vast majority of women, level 1 is all you'll ever need. Level 1 is mastering your diet and nutrition. It's powerful stuff. But if diet alone isn't quite enough to get your numbers into that target range, you move up to level 2, which might involve an oral medication like metformin. And only if that's still not enough, you go to level 3, which is insulin injections. It's a step-by-step approach, starting with the least invasive option first.
So what does this diet management actually mean in your kitchen? It's really about making smart swaps and being mindful. It's not about starving yourself. It's about choosing foods that release sugar slowly. So you swap out that white bread, which dumps sugar into your system like a fire hose, for whole wheat bread, which is more like a steady garden hose. You can still have rice, but you measure your portion. You can still have fruit, but you might choose an apple or a pear over a big handful of grapes, which are little sugar bombs. It's about balance and being strategic with your choices. Now, beyond all the numbers and the food rules, there's a much deeper, more powerful way to look at this journey. In Islam, we have a beautiful concept called amana. It means a trust, a sacred trust given to you by God. And this baby, this soul that you are nurturing, is the ultimate amana. So every time you choose the whole wheat bread, every time you take a walk after dinner, every time you prick your finger to check your sugar, that is not a chore. That is an act of worship. That is you proving yourself to be a worthy guardian of this incredible trust. You are caring for your health to care for that precious gift. You've been working so hard, managing your diet, checking your numbers. You're doing amazing. But what about the finish line, the final stretch of the pregnancy? Let's talk about what to expect when it comes to labor, delivery, and what this all means for your health in the long run.
One of the biggest questions people have is, does this mean I have to be induced? And the answer is, it depends. It all comes back to that word control. If your blood sugar numbers are all over the place and hard to manage, or if the ultrasounds show that the baby is growing way too fast, your doctor might suggest an induction to make sure everyone stays safe. But, and this is a big but, if your blood sugar is well managed, if you're consistently hitting your targets, and if you and the baby are both healthy and stable, there's often absolutely no reason why you can't wait for labor to start all on its own. Your hard work buys you options.
The good news is that for most women, gestational diabetes packs its bags and leaves right after the baby is born. But it does leave behind a very important message. It's like a heads up from your body about your future health. Having gestational diabetes means you have a higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes later in life. But look at it this way. You now have a superpower. You have the knowledge and the skills you've just learned, how to eat well, how to monitor your body. The healthy habits you build now are a direct investment in your long-term health, long after your baby is in your arms.
And if you are ever, for 1 second, feeling overwhelmed, I want you to read these words. This is from a real mother who went through the whole thing. She was on level 1, level 2, and level 3. Diet, pills, and insulin. But look at what she says. My sugar was controlled. That's the key. And because she got it under control, her body knew what to do. Labor started on its own, and she had her baby. Her story is proof.
It is absolute proof that no matter how challenging the path gets, a beautiful, positive outcome is completely possible. You can do this.
So let's end on this thought. What if this isn't a disease? What if this isn't a flaw? What if this is your first great test as a mother? A test of your patience, your discipline, your strength, and your deep, unconditional love for a child you haven't even met yet. This is a challenge, yes, but you are equipped to meet it. You have the knowledge now, you have the support of your doctors, and you have a motivation so powerful it can move mountains. You absolutely have everything you need to succeed.